Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be diving into a topic that I've been getting a lot of questions about, and that is, what is it really like to live in Kaysville, Utah? So go ahead and grab a snack, kick back, maybe get a bottle of water, and let's chat about the pros and cons of calling Kaysville home. Now, Kaysville isn't one of those big cities like Salt Lake City or Provo, but it definitely is a place that has a lot to offer, and there are some things that you might not know unless you actually live here. So let's go ahead and start off with all the good stuff. Let's talk about the pros of living in Kaysville. Now, I'm sure that some of you are curious if it's worth moving here. I would say the spoiler alert is, I think so, because I've lived here for 28 years and I really like it. But let's go ahead and break it down. Let's talk about the amazing location and the views. So if you love nature, you're going to fall in love with Kaysville. It's nestled right up against the mountains, and the views, I just love hiking. They're just great views. And seriously, they're breathtaking. You know, you get that beautiful backdrop of the Wasatch Mountains that makes every sunrise just kind of feel like you're waking up in a painting. Plus, it's just far enough from Salt Lake City, you know, to have that small town vibe, but close enough to have, you know, the easy access to work, to shopping, and to all the big city amenities. Next up is the great schools and the family-friendly vibe that we have here. You know, another huge perk is, you know, Kaysville is super family-friendly. You know, if you've got kids or are planning to have kids in the future, the schools here are really good. There are multiple elementary schools and middle schools, and then we have Davis High School, which is highly rated. You know, there are also lots of parks here, family events, and you know, there is a real sense of community here. You'll often see families out bike riding, hanging out at the city parks. You know, one thing that I love about Kaysville is that it has that small town charm, but it isn't too far removed from everything. It's got that nice balance between, you know, your quiet neighborhoods, you know, you've got the friendly neighbors and the slower pace of life. But if you're craving more excitement, you know, or work in the city, Salt Lake City just might, you know, it's just a 30-minute drive away. So you can actually, you know, go in there and get the best of both worlds for your nightlife. Kaysville has a strong sense of community. You know, living here, it's hard not to feel like you're part of something. The people in Kaysville are friendly, and whether it's the local farmers markets or the neighborhood barbecues or just walking around town, people say hi to each other, and you could tell that everyone has each other's backs here. You know, there are a lot of outdoor activities galore, so if you're into outdoor activities, hiking, biking, all of that stuff, Kaysville is golden for that. And there's plenty of other more things to do. You know, there's something to do no matter what the season. You're close to places like Antelope Island State Park, where you can hike or just enjoy the views of the Great Salt Lake Valley, the Salt Lake out there. Plus, the ski resorts are only just a short drive away in the winter time, and we have a lot of different ski resorts around here. So those are just some of the major pros of living in Kaysville. Not sugarcoat everything. There are some cons that maybe we should talk about. So let's just go ahead and dive into that. First up is traffic. Traffic here can just be a hassle. So let's talk about that. It's not terrible, but it's definitely something to consider. Now, the main highway that cuts through Kaysville is I-15. We also have Highway 89 that's just up on east side of Kaysville. You know, it can get backed up during the rush hour times. So if you're commuting in Salt Lake City or headed north, be prepared for some delays. The road system in Kaysville, they're decent, but they're not as streamlined as like at larger cities. Here's a big one. Kaysville can be a little pricier compared to other areas. You know, real estate prices have gone way up in recent years, and while you're not looking at the same kind of prices as places like Park City, it's still more expensive than, say, Clearfield or Layton. So if you're coming from a lower cost area, it might be something that you need to take into consideration, and it will take some adjusting. Another con is the limited dining and entertainment options here. So if you're someone who loves a variety of restaurants and the bustling nightlife, Kaysville may feel a little bit quiet for you. So there are a few great local spots to eat, but if you're looking for tons of dining options or a vibrant nightlife, saying you're probably just going to have to head into Salt Lake for that, or even up north up to Ogden. It's bigger than Kaysville and has more options. There are even some great restaurants in Layton, which is about a 15-minute drive. So let's talk about the growth and development. And one thing that you'll notice, especially if you've lived here in Kaysville for a while, is that Kaysville is growing. And while growth means more amenities and businesses, it can also mean more construction, and you guessed it, more people. So that small town feel is definitely being tested, and some areas are starting to feel more crowded. Now, that could be a pro or con depending on what you're looking for. And finally, let's talk about the winters here. So Kaysville is cold in the winter, so think snow, ice, freezing temperatures. You know, it's beautiful when the snow falls, but it also means a lot of shoveling and dealing with those icy roads. So if you're someone who loves the winter months, then you're just going to be fine and great here. But if you're not into that cold, well, you might want to keep your jacket close by. So there you have it. This is just a brief rundown of Kaysville, Utah. It does have a lot to offer, especially if you're looking for a peaceful, family-friendly place to call home. It's also got stunning views, great schools, and that small town charm. But there are a few things to keep in mind, like the traffic, the higher cost of living, and it's really all about, what kind of lifestyle you want. If you're thinking about moving here, or if you already live here, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. And if you have found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and ring the bell for more content like this. And meanwhile, I appreciate you watching, and I'll go ahead and see you on the next video.